Today we're taking a look at these MLB matches, which are happening on Friday, September 23, 2022, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes, let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. Multiple plans are available for each and every one of you. By becoming a member of the High Stakes Patreon, you will have access to our best team picks, total picks, parlay picks and much more. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting predictions that ends up costing you a lot of time and money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks. Going back to our video, we will give you 2 betting picks for each game, a team pick and a total pick based on facts and detailed explanation. So make sure to watch our videos till the end so you don't miss any of our picks. Assad has pitched decently in recent weeks while Wilson has been hit hard. The Cubs are 6-4 in their last 10 games and are 32-32 against teams under .500 this season. Pittsburgh, meanwhile, has struggled over their last 10 games with 4 wins in 10 games. The Pirates are 28th in runs per game and are hitting just .207 as a team in their last 10 games. The Cubs, meanwhile, have a stellar 2.73 ERA in their last 10 games. Assad will keep the light-hitting Pirates lineup at bay in this one. The Cubs have won 2 straight games over the Pirates entering Thursday's action. Take the Cubs with the money line. The Cubs are averaging 4.01 runs per game and 4.03 runs per game on the road. They averaged 4.67 runs per game in their last 3 games against the Pirates. With Pittsburgh giving up 5.30 runs per game at home, the Cubs will go over their average in this game. The Pirates are averaging 3.58 runs per game and 3.75 runs per game at home. They averaged 4 runs per game in their last 3 games against the Cubs. With Chicago giving up 4.92 runs per game on the road, the Pirates will score enough runs to push the score over the total. Our total pick is over 8 runs. Milwaukee Brewers vs Cincinnati Reds. Milwaukee continues to be in a must-win position as Philadelphia picked up another win on Thursday. The Phillies and Brewers are fighting for the final National League wild card spot, with Philadelphia holding a 2.5-game lead heading into Friday's slate. Milwaukee was on a 3-game losing streak earlier this week, dropping 1 game to the Yankees and 2 games to the Mets. The Brewers bounced back with a 6-0 win over the Mets on Wednesday and then added Thursday's 5-1 win in Cincinnati. They have 2 games against St. Louis and 4 games against Milwaukee coming up next week. Cincinnati only has 6 home games remaining this season, as the painful campaign is finally going to come to an end. The Reds have not been competitive for most of the year, never recovering from a horrible start to the season. They lost 3 out of 5 games at St. Louis last week before splitting a 2-game set against Boston earlier this week. Cincinnati got off to a slow start to this series with a 5-1 loss to Milwaukee. The Reds are going on the road for their final road trip of the season next week, making stops in Pittsburgh and Chicago. All 3 of those teams have already been eliminated from playoff contention. This is another spot to back a motivated Milwaukee team against a Cincinnati team that is ready for the season to end. The Brewers are fighting with Philadelphia for the final NL wild card spot, while the Reds have been eliminated from playoff contention for more than a week. Milwaukee has dominated Cincinnati of late, winning 14 of the last 20 meetings. The Brewers have won 5 of their last 6 games at Cincinnati. Minor continues to give up hits in bunches this season, and I do not expect that to change on Friday. Our team pick is Milwaukee for the win. Neither Eric Lauer or Mike Minor has shown the ability to pitch well in the month of September thus far, as Lauer is currently 0-2 with an 8.68 ERA and a .316 batting average against, while Minor is 1-2 with a 6.59 ERA and a .361 batting average against. Hitting home runs means they are able to score a few runs at once, and the Brewers have 11 home runs in their last 7 games, while the Reds have hit 5 homers in their previous 7 games. These teams are allowing a lot of runs against one another, as they are averaging 11.7 total runs per game throughout their 15 games against each other this season. All in all, go with the over as it feels like the best bet you can make here. Our total pick is over the total. Washington Nationals vs Miami Marlins. The Marlins have struggled this season, particularly to score runs over the second half of the season. They had a team record string of scoreless innings earlier this season and are 28th in the league in runs per game. All this despite having a formidable front 3 in their rotation of potential Cy Young winner Sandy Alcantara, Pablo Lopez and lefty Jesus Luzardo. The Marlins are 4-6 in their last 10 games and have lost each of their last 2 series, including 2 out of 3 to the Cubs to start the week. The Nationals cut bait on this season back in August when they parted ways with superstar Juan Soto among other players. The Nationals hope the haul of prospects they received at the trade deadline will eventually turn into another team ready to make a run at a World Series title. Till that time, the Nationals are likely to be among the worst teams in baseball. The Nationals have lost 7 out of 10 games heading into this series, but were able to finally upend the Braves 3-2 in the final game of their series in Atlanta on Wednesday. The Nationals have the worst record in baseball and own the league's worst pitching ERA as well. They have allowed a league-worst 1.5 home runs per game. On Friday night, they will turn to hard-throwing righty Josiah Gray to try and slow down the Marlins. Gray is 0-1 in his last 5 starts, with an elevated ERA of 6.66. In those 5 games, Gray has allowed a whopping 8 home runs. Against the Marlins this season, Gray is 0-1 with a 5.64 ERA, with a 10.6 K9 rate in 5 games. Gray has struggled in recent starts, but has a high K9 rate against the Marlins, a team struggling to put up runs. While Gray has been susceptible to the home run, the Marlins are just 24th in the league in home runs. Garrett will be pitching for the first time in 10 days and should have some rust in this matchup. The Nationals have won 2 out of their last 3 games against the Marlins and held them to just over 3 runs per game in the process. The Nats, despite being on pace for 100 losses, are a reasonable 13-17 in their last 30 games. Look for the Nationals to pull out a win in the opener against Miami. Take the Nats with the money line. Josiah Gray has been doing decently well this season when looking at his baseball saving page, so far as he is in the 77th percentile in average exit velocity. He has a 24.8 strikeout percentage up to this point so far. He throws 5 different pitches with 3 pitches thrown at least 24.5% of the time. This will be Gray's 6th start this season against Miami, and he is 0-2 in 27.1 innings and gave up 17 runs on 34 hits with 1 hit by pitch, 9 walks, and 33 strikeouts. Braxton Garrett has been doing decently well also according to his baseball saving page, as he is in the 90th percentile in the chase rate. He has a decent average exit velocity as hitters are hitting 88.4 mph so far. Garrett has a 5-pitch arsenal with 3 pitches at least 21% of the time. He faced the Nationals back on July 4th and did not factor into the decision as he threw 7.1 innings and allowed a run on 4 hits with a walk and 4 strikeouts. Since the All-Star break, the Marlins have a .620 team ops since the All-Star break, while the Nationals are 15th in MLB with a .700 team ops in that span. These bullpens have been struggling thus far as Washington is 19th in the sport with a 4.06 reliever ERA, while Miami is currently 21st in the majors with a 4.15 bullpen ERA. These teams have played 16 times previously averaging 7.8 total runs per game, and with weak pitching, the number should increase more here. Go with the over to hit in this game as these offenses should score some runs.